So ever since Amazon started putting their inventory limits, it's been popular to use a 3PL to store your goods and replenish them into FBA as required by you. We're going to discuss from a 3PL perspective on how goods need to go into Amazon really quick. That way you don't have to dive into their endless list of requirements. We're just going to give it to you cut and dry. That way you can get it done and get it shipped into FBA. A couple of quick tips when going into Amazon. If you're mixing any pallets, you want to throw a mixed pallet sticker on it. They prefer if you have all of the same SKU, single SKU pallets, that you also label it as a single SKU pallet, and it helps them inbound it a lot quicker. Now, these things are going to influence on how your stuff gets inbound and the speed they get inbounded. We're talking to you January 2022. As of right now, any LTL less than truckload going into Amazon is going to sit and wait for a while, and it's more than likely going to get lost than a full truckload. So what's happening is they're picking up a lot of goods from warehouses, from 3PLs, and these things are going into containers, into their trailers. So it's important that you track what trailer number your stuff is going into, and they're going to a holding spot, which right now is located in Fontana in Southern California, and it's the AAA Speedway. So they're just putting a lot of trucks out there of stuff that they can't really get in. And what's the problem in Amazon is labor. That's the issue. They can't get enough goods in. And then labor being an issue, you have a massive influx of goods going into Amazon as well, since COVID accelerated the e-commerce boom. Now, the fastest way to get your goods into Amazon right now is through small partial. Small partial shipments is UPS Ground, FedEx Ground. It's where you slap an individual shipping label and your goods go into Amazon a lot faster. So there's a few different specs on the pallet when you're shipping into Amazon. Like I mentioned, if you got a mixed pallet with mixed SKUs, slap a label on there that it's mixed. We do not put the single SKU label on the pallet because the pallet labels themselves say single SKU on them and they know what to do. Nothing higher than 72 inches. Now, I'll give you a tip. You can get away with pallets over 72 inches. Now, don't send the full truckload in at 80 inches because it's not gonna work and you're gonna get gigged, you're gonna get fined. But you can do 73, you can do 74, you can do up to 78 inches. Some folks are under the impression that GMA pallets are required. We do not send GMA pallets. GMA pallets are Grocery Manufactured Association pallets. Those are heat treated. That's way overkill for sending pallets into Amazon. They require a 4-way pallet. We've sent 2-way pallets in, and that's okay as well. So you can send 2-way pallets in. Those little things are they're requirements, but they're not as stringent as, say, Costco. If you send Costco a delivery in something that's not a CHEP pallet, a blue pallet, they're gonna refuse your entire shipment. Amazon is really lenient. So 2-way pallets, not too bad. If you want to send half of your shipment in 2-way pallets and save yourself some money on the pallets, you can do that. Now, it's at your own risk, but I'm telling you that we send a significant amount of 2-way pallets and we don't get any flack for that. You also have those Chinese pallets, those nasty little cheap pallets that come in from China. They're little blocks of compressed wood with some cheap board on top of it. We have customers that want to palletize their goods in China, so the pallets come in with those Chinese pallets, and we've sent them into Amazon, and there have been no issues. So you got a little give when it comes to pallets. You got a little give when it comes to weights and dims. 1,500 pounds is the weight. Don't send them anything 2,000 plus pounds. And they have these requirements because things go onto racks. Things have to fit through spaces. They have a machine that handles pallets. So you want to stick within the guidelines, but you have, give or take, a few inches. So don't be too concerned. So these are GMA pallets. And these pallets right now are coming in at a premium. You're looking at probably $20 to $22 a pallet nowadays. It used to be about 14 to 15 bucks, and now they're really expensive. So this is considered a type A GMA pallet. Overkill for Amazon, no point. These are block pallets. They come at a discount because they're not too popular, but they're 4-way pallets, which is one of Amazon's requirements. This is the majority of the pallets that we use here. They're the cheapest pallets that you can get right now. So here you got two variations. We have a two-way pallet. Notice I can't get in on the sides. We've sent the block pallets, and we've sent over 2,000 shipments into Amazon. This is full truckloads. We've sent probably 50,000 less than truckload LTL shipments into Amazon, and pallets that they're not on their requirements, but they're a lot cheaper for you to acquire and a lot easier to handle. This is a Chinese pallet. This is what pallets come looking like from China. Particle board as blocks. You have cheap wood on the top. These things break up. We've had customers, they want to bring it in palletized because it's easier and it's cheaper to palletize it in China. I did not think that the Chinese pallets were going to be accepted, and they were accepted. Now, take all this as money-saving metrics, all right? For you guys that are operating out of your garage, for you guys that are at a 3PL, we do it. We've been doing it. We have got no flack from Amazon at all. We've gotten flack from boxes missing labels. Out of 500 boxes, one box is missing a label. You get a lot of flack from that. Pallets, zero at all. Heights, a little bit more than 72 inches. We have gotten zero flack at all. Weights, a tiny bit more than your 1,500 pound limit, no flack at all. So Amazon is really flexible when it comes to receiving items, which is great. Now, when you're wrapping pallets with shrink wrap, going into Amazon, this is a typical pallet that's wrapped from the bottom up really, really well. If you check out our Amazon goods, we call it a candy cane wrap because all we're wrapping are the joints. Notice no wrap here, no wrap here, no wrap here, not even on the pallet. We're wrapping the joints, that way the boxes don't move off the pallet, and it's saving us on shrink wrap. It's saving the environment from more pollution, and you're saving the guy at Amazon or the gal on Amazon that's gonna unwrap your goods a lot of time. A quick suggestion for both the warehouse and the customer itself shipping into FBA, you wanna have big enough cases or big enough boxes to where there are gonna be no boxes towards the center of the pallet. And the reason why is because your warehouse is gonna charge you now by the box leaving, so they're gonna charge you pretty much a pick fee because your boxes are way too small. If you have a lot of small boxes, now they have to work double. So they have to pick all your boxes, they have to label your boxes, then redo a pallet. Best case scenario, your cases are big enough to where you can put at least 4 to 5 on a pallet, and there's no cases towards the center. So if you're considering a box size that's going into Amazon and you want to save on handling cost, your perfect size is a 24 by 20 by 18. 24 inches deep, we'll have 2 boxes on the pallet. 20, we'll have 2 boxes wide, and 18, you'll be able to fit 4 boxes high, 4 levels high to reach that 72 limit. And you don't have to worry about pick fees, you don't have to worry about pallet overhang, because that is another requirement for Amazon. They don't want any more than 2 inches of overhang on each side. Now that's also a little bit flexible. We've done up to 3 inches on each side because pallets kind of come in funky sometimes, but that is a requirement for Amazon. They don't want too much overhang on any given side. Let's talk about FBA labeling real quick. So FBA labels, the package labels, you have 1 FBA label per case. Now, this is a sequenced bunch of labels. So the best way to receive your labels is split. Tell your customer to send you every label for 1 SKU in 1 file. That way you take that file, you confirm how many labels you have, confirm the case count that they requested, print out all your labels, put a little rubber band on it, send it out to the warehouse with a nice little label on it that says what SKU it is. That way you're giving them a good product and it's really hard to mess up. Now when you're placing the labels on the cases, they say that they need the label on the longest part of the box. We put it on the shortest face of the box because usually the shortest face of the box is what's looking on the outside. So we all say short face with the label, whether it be in the middle, top left, bottom left. That really doesn't matter, but if you're gonna do bottom left on one, do bottom left on all of them. If you're gonna do middle on one, do middle on all of them. That way you can see from a distance if you got a box without a label. Now, when you're sending your warehouse labels, make sure your label description or SKU is what's visible on the box, because labels, the orders get picked and then they get labeled probably by someone else. That someone else labeling the boxes needs to understand and needs to see that that label that they're labeling on your case belongs to that case. Right here is what a bad label looks like. Down here they have the ASIN number, the ASIN. If you deal with FBA, you know what I'm talking about. Their ASIN number is not visible on the box itself. You have a model number that's completely different than the ASIN number. There's no way to match that label to that box. So whatever's listed on your box, your model number, your SKU, whatever has to be on that label. So here I'll show you the #1 seller of kitchenware on Amazon. This Amazon label was changed by the customer to show the UPC, which there's a UPC here on the box, UPC on the label. We did the UPC because their SKUs are so complicated, they're so long. This is a problem because they're sending a lot of different cases, a lot of different SKUs. So we gotta be able to match that FBA label to that box. Now, if you're sending one SKU on a full truckload, you can really send whatever label you want, as long as the warehouse knows that that label belongs to that SKU. And if they have 1,000 boxes with that one SKU, it's simple. When you start getting complicated by sending mixed SKUs, mixed pallets, or 6 SKUs in an order, we need to identify what box does that label go to. So thanks for hanging out with us today here at LMS. We discussed shipping pallets into Amazon. We talked about the wood that we use, or the type of pallets that we use for the pallets going in. We talked about the height. We talked about the dimensions. We talked about overhang, the weights, the labels themselves, how to label boxes. Amazon is really, really flexible when it comes to these things, and you can save yourself or your customer lots of money and lots of time when you're preparing shipments to go into Amazon. Customers, I gave you a few tips as well on how you need to send your stuff to the warehouse, how you need to configure your boxes. That way it's a seamless operation. And when it's seamless, when it's cut and dry, black and white, not too complex, you're going to save costs. You're going to be a favorable customer. You're going to be a good customer for that warehouse, and they're probably not going to tell you to leave. So thanks for hanging out with us. If you liked the video, hit the like button for us to help us out with the algorithm. Hit subscribe if you want to see some more. Hope to see you in the next one. Until then, Mike out.